Hey everyone, welcome to the Learning Ladder. I thought I'd do a quick update as to what's happening with coronavirus from my last update, because there has been a lot of changes in the UK. So when I last spoke to you, there were no specific restrictions or anything along those lines. It was pretty much if you've got symptoms, there was one restriction. If one person in a house has symptoms, then they should self-isolate for 7 days, but everyone else in the house was able to do as they pleased, go about usual business, unless they had symptoms. But yesterday, so today is the 17th, happy St. Patrick's Day. So yesterday, the 16th, they had a press conference and brought out all the new requirements. So if anyone in the house now has any symptoms, everybody else has to self-isolate as well, along with them, even if they're okay. And they recommend and advise against not going out, not going to grocery stores, just going for exercise, but staying away from everybody. But there's a huge problem with that, because there are no grocery slots for delivery or for click and collect. I actually tried to book a grocery slot, and there's nothing. So that was Monday, and there was nothing until Saturday. And that was one store I found that had a Saturday slot, and there was one slot left. So that's going to be really difficult for people. I really hope they can do something. I don't know how though, and that's before everything gets worse and the number of people self-isolating increases. So I don't know. And my thoughts were maybe they could come up with some kind of pack where if a person's self-isolating, an emergency pack, they could click somewhere and the supermarket would be able to send them, the basics to get them through, because it's for 14 days, not just for 7, that they have to self-isolate. Just one sec. I just had to let the dog in. And I guess it's more of an issue if you haven't been able to stockpile, which we haven't. We haven't been able to. We didn't have the money to, for one. There was nothing there anyway, even if you wanted to stockpile the essentials, because it was very restricted. I told you on the weekend we managed to get 1 bag of pasta. That's not going to last very long, so we do need to get groceries. Symptoms wise, we don't have any of the coronavirus symptoms as far as I know. I do have a sore throat, but I don't think at this point it's related to that. My daughter does have a little bit of a sore throat too, but again, I don't think it's related to the virus. I think it's just seasonal cold. But my husband's work yesterday confirmed that someone had symptoms there, so they were closing. Well, not closing completely, but only for essential people who couldn't work from home. Everyone was to work from home, but the government also announced anyway yesterday that they would prefer everyone to work from home where possible. So that's tied in anyway. But he goes to work via public transport on the train, and the biggest problem we've had in terms of the essentials, in terms of for the coronavirus, not just generally for food, but for the coronavirus, is soap. No liquid soap anywhere. We haven't been able to find any. No hand sanitizer at all, and we didn't have any. The hand sanitizer that we'd used we had 1 bottle, we'd used it, it's all gone. We haven't had it for a while. But we were using our liquid soap. This is all we've got left now. Sorry, that was the tongue. This is all we've got left now in our whole entire house of soap. So once this goes, as in liquid soap, and this is the antibacterial one, it's just the cheap essentials version. So once this runs out, we will have no antibacterial soap at all. And we've not been able to buy any soap apart from 2 bars of soap, Dove soap. That's not, I don't think it's antibacterial, but I think it's still better than nothing. That's the only soap we have in our house. So hopefully they'll get a supply in, but we're talking about soap and people are in hospital, so reality checks. But at the end of the day, it is supposed to be a preventative tool, so I do hope we can get some soap. What else? Pregnant women in 3rd trimester are advised to have caution and also to self-isolate. They haven't said self-isolate, but they've said with caution and to social distance. And then from the weekend, anyone over the age of 70 and vulnerable people have been advised to self-isolate for 12 weeks. Pubs, clubs, restaurants, theatres have been not told to close, but we have been advised against going. It's Mother's Day this Sunday, so I feel very sorry for the restaurants, our bookings and everything else, because none of that's going to be able to be possible. The airline industry here is really suffering. I've heard a lot of the airlines are asking people to work without pay. Well, not work because they're not going to be working, but not to have pay, to take unpaid leave for 8 weeks. redundancies in certain stores, I've heard. I mean, if you think about the retail industry, they can't work from home, and unless they have a thriving online business. What's going to happen with all their staff? It's really, really worrying and scary for so many people. My sympathies go out to you all. It's just horrible. That's where we are, really. So schools are still open currently. We homeschool anyway, so that doesn't impact us whether they close or not, but schools are still open. They're saying it's to do with key workers and everything else, but if my child would have been in a traditional school setting, I would much prefer them to have closed. But I understand why they're not. Maybe they should just open for key workers. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the modelling of everything. They seem to think that school closures wouldn't make a massive difference in terms of helping curtail it. So I hope they release the modelling. They did discuss that they were possibly going to do that, because I really would like to see that. Because apparently London is above everywhere else in the UK. So, because we weren't expecting changes to come this week. We were expecting them to come either next week or the week after, but they've come a lot sooner than we thought. Which was not good, because we were waiting for payday so we could do our monthly shop, but that's not going to happen now, because there's already all the new requirements or recommendations have come into play. So I think that our monthly shop is going to be really difficult to do anyway, because I think everyone has already stockpiled. So yeah, it's not fun, and I'm so sorry for everybody, and it's a worrying time, but as I said the other day, most people should be fine, but obviously a lot of people are at risk. Take care, everybody. I might do one more update if anything changes, but other than that, I probably won't do any more updates about the virus here. I just hope you all stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.